Welcome once again, all beer lovers, and thanks for joining us for Lightning 100's Brews in Bloom. We're going to be exploring some of the best springtime beers to pair with all of your fun activities. And once again, I'm joined by Matt Leff, and once again, we are lucky enough to be joined by Linus Hull from Yazoo Brewing with another one of their incomparable, if you will, offerings here. Even the bottle, I felt bad opening the bottle. It's so beautiful. But I'm so ready for this. So Linus, Matt, thank you for joining us, and let's talk about this one, Matt. First of all, I want to know why you chose this one in particular.
Well, so one of the things that I love about Yazoo and what Linus has done with Yazoo is that they have a vast variety of styles, and technically they actually have two facilities. So you've got the main brewery up in Madison, and then sort of in the airport area they have their wild ale facility, or their barrel house as it's called, and that's where Brandon Jones, who works with Yazoo, has mastered the art of wild and funky fermentation. So Cherry Deux Rouges is one of the first beers that was ever produced under the Embrace the Funk side of Yazoo, and this is this year's release. It's made with 4 different cherries, and this beer has also took home some awards in the beer world for previous versions and releases, and it's a great beer. It's also one that you will be able to go out and purchase if you like what you're hearing. So comes in a 500 milliliter glass bottle. There's also draft available from time to time, and some of these specialties you will find, of course, in the Yazoo tap room. But Linus, tell us a little bit more about this beer. I know it's one of my personal favorites. I know it's Brandon's probably favorite of everything he does, and there's a lot of amazing ones. But what do we need to know about Cherry Deux Rouges?
Well, this, like you said, was definitely the first beer that we produced under his Embrace the Funk label. And we actually, a little known fact is we were kind of nervous to make a whole 40-barrel batch of this right off the bat. And so we talked to our buddies at Corsair about going back and brewing on our old original system, which they still had at Marathon. And so Brandon and I went back and produced, 10 barrels worth of Deux Rouges, and that was one of the first beers that we made. But he's blended 4 different types of cherries into this Cherry Deux Rouges for that really huge punch of cherry flavor at the finish there. But this is one that we're really proud of. We definitely have Belgian brewers come through the brewery every once in a while, and this is a style that they recognize as authentic to what they produce over there.
Definitely, I think this beer can be a little overwhelming for some people that are not familiar with the style. But when you let it warm up and you drink it under the right circumstances, it has so many nuances of flavors that you get not only from the cherries but from the wood aging process. And there's a lot of time in this beer. I mean, this beer Brandon makes once a year. And it ages in barrels. He blends it. He packages it. When it goes in the bottle, it stays in the bottle for a certain amount of time until it goes out to the store shelves. So there's a lot of passion behind this beer and a lot of real thought. And it's definitely a different process than, say, making a Czech lager. Equal care, but it definitely is a much longer process.
Yeah, and it's a lot more akin to making a fine wine than a lager. You're waiting a whole year to see what the results are going to be. You're blending different batches, different barrels, even different years to get the flavor that you want. And then when you add the fruit towards the end and let it do a re-fermentation, you never know how long that's going to take until it's ready to go.
That's for sure. Well, if you're into wild and funky, unique beers, definitely head on up to the Yazoo tap room in Madison, or keep your eyes on store shelves for the Cherry Deux Rouges in 500 milliliter bottles, amongst many other amazing Embrace the Funk beers. But Linus, we appreciate you joining us for the first time that we're having the brewmasters on with us for this program. So thank you. Cheers to you and everybody at Yazoo.
Thanks so much, Linus, and you as well, Matt. Always a good time. And yes, this is just absolutely amazing. Go grab some of it right now. And big thanks to both Linus and Matt Leff for joining us for this episode of Brews in Bloom. Thank you for joining us as well. It's airing now through May 14th. We have it at 6:30 a.m. with a replay at 6:30 p.m. You can also watch and listen on demand at lightning100.com/Brews in Bloom. Brewed by Lipman Brothers, Rhizome Productions, and your friends here at Lightning 100. Until next time, we say cheers.